No.
Yes, I left immediately. Came
You
out.
left Mississippi.
Yes.
And came straight to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Had
Yes.
you ever been to Myrtle Beach?
My family lived at Pawleys Island when I was 10 years old, and that's been quite a few years ago.
Yeah, a couple of years back.
Yes.
That's right.
So, but I had never been to Myrtle Beach that I could remember.
Right.
And so he interviewed me, and he said, "Go home and think about it." I said, "I don't have to." I said, "I'll be back next Thursday." So I went back to my plant manager, and I asked him to lay me off. And he said, "Why?" I said, "Well, you're laying everybody else off. You know, lay me off. I want to move to South Carolina and operate a homeless shelter without pay." And I said, "If you lay me off, that'll give me a few pennies."
Right.
And I did draw my unemployment for a couple of months, but then I said, if I'm going to do this on faith, I don't need that unemployment, and I'm not available to work anyway. So that's how it started, and it's been an awesome relationship.
Golly, Libby, that's a powerful story. Probably not too many people come in contact with situations where they can say, I'm ready to go.
Right.
But I guess you have to be ready.
You do. You really do.
To Mission of the Homeless.
But one thing I didn't tell my family, they would have put me away. I didn't tell them I was coming out here without salary, because I had just bought a brand new pickup truck. But it has just worked beautifully.
How'd you pay for the pickup truck?
They paid for it. Like you said, we can help you with your truck, but we can't pay you a salary.
We can't pay you a salary, but we can help make truck
Right.
payments.
Well, it wasn't very much back then.
No, but still, yeah. There was at least, they knew whatever they could do to get you here, and your
Right.
excitement level probably got them excited.
Well, he did want my computer brought here too. So, you know.
He was chatting with you a little closer.
Yes.
That's right.
But he's a great guy.
He is. Do you get to see Rocky often? Does he get to I know he's so busy, and of course he I guess he's no longer with the Carolina Opry.
No, well, he plays
all the time. Yeah, he's not there all the time.
He
though.
plays, I think, prior to the show.
Good, yeah.
And occasionally we get to go down and see him. But
Right.
the first time I heard him play the piano, I was just totally spellbound.
He's started. Yeah,
and
amazing.
for him to have a heart for the homeless and for people who are really hurting, that's awesome.
I mean, that's a powerful piece to be involved with folks that literally can't claim a roof over their head or can't even, I guess at some level, contemplate it. Do some folks who come in, do they remember the last time they claimed they had a home, or it's person to person?
You know, it's strange that most people think the homeless are lazy, don't want to work, but that's not the case. They're very educated. They're college graduates, some of them. They're chefs, they're psychologists, they're different fields of work that you just wouldn't think people like that would end up homeless, but they do. So it's been an awesome experience to help people get back into society and to begin living again free from alcohol, free from drugs. And the new building is going to help us to help more people.
Drugs and alcohol almost always have something to do with how they got from being psychologists or being educated folks or just hitting tough times into very tough times, or drugs and alcohol almost always apart?
Yes, it is. And it's due, in fact, one of the classes that we had today, a lot of the homeless people have experienced tragedies in their families, in their lives. One gentleman has lost his whole family in a fire. A lot of times it's divorce, a lot of times it's sexual abuse. It's so many reasons that a person is homeless. They don't know how to cope with it. So they start drinking. to cover it up,
Mm.
to hide the pain.
Mhm.
Then they get tired, sick and tired of being sick and tired, and they start asking for help, and that's where we come in.
That's tremendous, Libby. That's powerful. Phone number again, 843-626-3643 for someone who
Right.
wanted to call now and find out how they could make a difference. Do you ever have folks come in and volunteer, Libby? Is there
Yes.
anything that anyone can do?
Absolutely. Answer the phone.
Really? To
It
come in and help?
rings 24/7.
Yeah. Does it ring? No,
Yes,
come on. Is
yes,
it ringing
it
all the
does.
time?
It rings constantly.
Well, now, and why? You know, folks would say, "Well, if someone's homeless, how are they?" Why is it ringing all the time? Because folks want to help, they want to make a donation, or they just want to.
They're
need
looking for a
shelter?
place to live.
Okay, so they're
Yeah.
calling from anywhere at the beach. They're
Right.
finding a phone and saying, "Where can I
Right.
go?"
Right.
And folks often say, "Call Miss Libby."
Call Miss Libby.
Yeah, call
Yes,
Miss
call
Libby.
Street Ridge. The telephone system among the homeless is amazing. It's ask whoever's standing on the corner or whoever's hanging out at the soup kitchen or somewhere, they'll tell you where to go, Street Ridge.
Mm-hmm.
And it's there.
Now, there's probably quite a bit. We just have a couple of minutes, Libby. There's probably quite a few times where you can't. Where you actually have to turn folks away.
Yes. This is
What
where
happens? Yeah.
they sleep under a bridge or wherever they can if the police don't find them. But that's where the new building is going to come into play, and that's what we're trying for right now, is to get that building up as soon as possible.
What can viewers do right now? They can call, make donations. You'll
Make
take donations of
donations.
all levels. How about getting the word out? Is it
Yes, this
Word of
is a
mouth?
$1.2 million project,
okay?
and we have a special bank account set up for those donations. And if they do send a check, please designate that it's for the building fund
Okay.
rather than operating expense,
Right.
because
Right.
that's what we're trying to do.
But you sure don't want folks to lose track of operating expenses.
No.
If there's some way, if they were
That's
going to make a $50 donation, would you encourage them to split it up? Half to the. I mean, I'm just wondering. Would you?
Whatever
encourage
their
them?
heart tells
Sure,
them.
Sure. So oftentimes it is purely to make sure that
Right.
someone gets food in their
Yes.
body and can have a roof over their head and keep y'all's electricity on and other
Yes.
things going. But at the same time, the future is not. I mean, it's coming up fast.
Yes, it is.
You're going to need that.
We hope we're going to be in that building by July
of
7.
07.
Yes.
Wow, the building fund must be moving pretty dang fast.
Well, it is. We just got a lot of faith.
Praise the Lord. That
We
is
just
wonderful.
have a whole bunch of faith.
Golly, Libby, that's tremendous. Really.
When we started this, when this first came up, I told Mr. Jackson, I said, I don't care what goes in that building as long as I have a bathroom in my office. And he just laughed. And in putting the plans together, they forgot an office for my assistant, and he just kind of looked at me and he said, well, I guess you took your bathroom. That's it. That was his office. But we've had a lot of good laughs and good talks over it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Libby, I think I saw in reading about you that at age 15 you were homeless. Is
Yes.
that right?
Yes.
What does that mean at age 15 you were homeless? I mean,
It means that I came from a dysfunctional family, and I had a little part-time job, and I came home, and my folks had moved. And I was sitting in a park, and these two young girls came by and asked me, what are you doing there? And I said, well, I don't have anywhere to go. And they were two girls that my mother told me never to talk to because they lived on the other side of the track. But they let me sleep on their couch, and they got me a job and gave me a start.
love it. So we talked about, of course, alcohol and drugs, but as you say, dysfunctional families oftentimes can be what triggers homelessness and
Right.
what get folks there. So
Right.
do you remember those girls? Have you, are they still living? Have you seen them? Do you
Yes.
communicate with them?
Yes, I have seen them married, have children, living a good life. They were two girls of a family of 12.
Mm.
And I used to see them all, the husband and wife, walking down the street with all of their children. Amazing family.
Those are powerful words. Thanks so much for being with us this morning, Libby.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Libby Faulkner coming up next. Got to get that phone number out while we're thinking about it. 626-3643. That's 843-626-3643. StreetReachMinistries.org. Before I forget about it, think about that idea at age 15, coming home from your part-time job and your parents have moved. They haven't moved and told you about it. They just moved. They moved. And that aspect of two young girls inviting you in, something like that could surely trigger homelessness, and it did. Whether it's psychologists or college-educated folks or folks with no education at all, being in that same spot, knocking on the door at Street Reach Ministries or opening the door. You heard Libby talk about it. The doors are open virtually 24/7. The phone is ringing 24/7. Folks want to know, how can I end this? How can I get out from underneath the bridge or out of the woods or out of this box? How can I get out of it? It's that phone call. It's that knocking on the door. It's the door that opens. It's the Street Reach Ministries door. Give them a call. Libby wants to hear from you. 843-626-3643. Of course, if you can go online, you're probably not homeless right now. If you're sitting at home watching TV, you might not be. But someday you might be. You just never know what can happen. Give them a call. Make a difference. Support Street Reach Ministries.